Good morning and welcome to our Facebook live stream here at the Professional and Graduate Studies building for Cornerstone University on the Beltline. I'm here with Dr. Andrea Freiling, and we're going to talk to you about our Doctor of Education program and Organizational Leadership and Development. Before we get started, though, I would like for Andrea to introduce herself.
All right, as he said, I am Andrea Freiling. I am Assistant Professor of English as well as Assistant Director of Academic Services here at PGS. And in the doctoral program, I teach the first class. So the doctoral studies class is me, and then I work with Dr. Savage on the program as well.
And Andrea, where are your degrees from and what are they in?
Oh, how far back are we going? Okay, so almost all of my degrees. So I started at Grand Rapids Community College, did my associates there with English Language and Literature, then Grand Valley State University, also English Language and Literature, Northern Illinois University for my master's, and that is in British and American Literature, and my PhD is also from Northern Illinois University, and that is primarily English Language and Literature as well.
Great, thank you. And I'll have Dr. Freiling talk a little bit about her experience as she teaches the first class in our program, which is a foundational course. It's really seminal to the work that we do in the program. And I'll introduce myself, and then we'll basically have a conversation about our program, its distinctives, what it offers, what you can get from it. My name is Jeff Savage. I am the Dean of Business for Professional and Graduate Studies here at the university in our adult programs. Part of that responsibility then includes oversight of our Doctor of Education program, and in that role I oversee faculty, collaborate on curriculum, and then I also actually teach a lot in the program as well. I have a varied background, sometimes all over the place. I think maybe a lack of focus is the reason for that, I don't know, but it's proven valuable in an eclectic environment where you need to be knowledgeable about a lot of different areas. Though my undergraduate degree is also in English, but I was not smart enough to continue on doing English as a graduate degree, so I have a master's degree in human resources, and then my doctorate is actually in higher education administration from Baylor University. And I was a school teacher, served in the military, and then have worked in higher education and have been exposed to doctoral education. So when I was asked to contribute to the program, taking and distilling things that I had learned in the program to be able to sort of infuse and inform our program with that.
See, you say contribute, but I would say you developed the program, wrote the program, wrote a lot of the classes within the program. So Dr. Savage is humble, but he's highly involved. And I would use director of the program. That seems fair.
Well, thank you. Our program is a practitioner-focused doctoral program. What that means is that we really want scholars of practice. Our program is designed so that current and emerging leaders apply research and theory to practice. Our program is not designed to produce academicians or academic researchers or college professors, although that can be a byproduct of the degree, because anytime you have a terminal degree, you're going to be competitive for teaching in higher education. But we really focused on that classic, original focus of the Doctor of Education degree, and that is as a practitioner-focused degree. So we look for people who are in positions of leadership or aspire to be. You're working professionals, and you're looking to take the research, the ideas, the concepts, the models, and apply those to problems at work so as to improve basically workplace functioning. And really the focus is on heightened well-being and flourishing for people as we think about spending most of our time at work. Our program is a blended program. It is almost exclusively online, but we do have three-day residencies within the program. We start in the first class, the one that Dr. Freiling teaches, and I'll have her talk a little bit about that. We start the program with a residency here in the second Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of May, and then every second Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of May in your program, so you can come back for a second and then a third residency. We have those three-day residencies, but the rest of the program is online, and we do it in 8-week courses over about 2.5 years, so 13 courses, and then the last one is a research project. We call it a capstone project, but if you think about it as a dissertation, we just want the focus to be on solving problems of practice at your place of employment. And so when you look at some of the research that our students have done, you'll see that it's really helped their organizations out. So that's kind of the big overview of our program. It is feasible to do it in 3 years, 2.5 years of coursework, and six months of a project, but probably most typically people are going to take 3.5 to 4 to 4.5 years to complete it because of the nature of the research project. Andrea, if you would talk about the first class in the program that you teach, what is its focus, and how does that set students up for success in this program?
So one of the things that we really like to prioritize in the doctoral studies class is the writing and research aspect of things, so that when you go into the rest of the program, each university, each higher education facility tends to have its own ways of doing things. So, maybe people haven't interacted with APA formatting before. So in this course, we're starting you out there, but we're also starting to get you to think about that research topic, that problem of practice that Dr. Savage was talking about. And for some people, they're able to do it in the 3 years because we start that. We already start letting students dig into that during that part. They're starting to do their literature review during the first course with me. So as they progress through the program, if that continues to be their area of interest, they're certainly able to get a head start on that with the coursework. Basically, you've designed it so that we're able to get them started on the project before they're actually in project mode, which is, I think, amazing. In my doctoral program, I had some amazing people that I got to work with, but we certainly did not have a program that kind of prepared you along the way. I shouldn't say kind of, it really prepares you along the way and allows you to even get a head start on that final project, which is amazing. And we have a lot of really great faculty who are willing to help and talk and walk with you through the whole thing, so it makes it a lot of fun. Residency, Dr. Savage, you mentioned, that tends to be a bit of a party. The first years are usually a little nervous at first because they haven't met everybody yet, and then you can always tell the ones who are coming back because it's like, hey everybody, and lots of hugs all around, and the food's always good, so that definitely puts people in a good mood.
Yeah. And 201, our students who go through it say they wouldn't do the program, they couldn't do the program without those three-day residencies. It is a vital part, I think, of the program and the success of the students.
They get to hang out with us, so they get to remember who's teaching them, see people face to face, but they also get to hang out with each other, which is huge. That support system that they're able to form during those few days is vital. We have a couple students from our very first cohort who actually met while they were doing their test ahead of time, like the graduate test. So they had met there, and then they showed up at residency, and they're like, wait, I know you. So they've been dear friends ever since, and are two of our first, well, one has already graduated and one will soon. So.
And I would say if you're interested in doctoral education, regardless of what program you look at, I would not recommend doing a program unless they had a residency component to it. Not only does it legitimize the degree, but more than that, just that integrative social connection that is and support network that's such a vital part of succeeding in doctoral education is a huge part of that.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things is the students that have graduated at this point are like, can we come back for that?
They
so
want to come back
and
for residency.
I love it. I love that they miss that community and that they want to just stay involved still. And a lot of it is they just want to come back and help their fellow cohort members cross the finish line. And I love just that communal aspect to our program. So they're challenged academically, personally, etc., but they're also supported across the board wherever we're able.
And it is a challenge to be able to do work at this level while working full-time, but our program is structured as such so that students can actually do that. We do have a very student-focused doctoral program and a lot of support structures in place to help students get through. You still have to do the work, and you're looking at 16 to 20 hours a week, so it is a part-time job, but it also makes accessible a level of education that in the past was not accessible.
Absolutely. And I just reiterate the dissertation process on that, because you've incorporated the first 3 chapters, like the first chunk of the final project, into the coursework. it gives them a much better chance of succeeding overall. I think programs that don't do that are the ones that really see people not finish. So I love that we do that here.
It's embedded. The research that you are interested in carrying out as a doctoral student, you start the first class in Dr. Freiling's course writing a literature review of constructs and ideas and theories and research that apply to that, and then you can, if you so choose, weave that tapestry throughout the program, and then when you get to the end, we have a proposal course so that you really focus for 8 weeks on putting together a 3-chapter proposal so that you're ready to go with your committee and get a really good head start on that.
One of the things that I think you guys have done exceptionally well in designing the program is preparing them for that last step in terms of research options. So a lot of times when students come in, they don't really know qualitative versus quantitative, or at least not at the level that they would need to in order to be able to do that for a final project. But you guys get them familiarized with both as well as mixed methods, and I think that that gives them a huge advantage as they go into that final step as well.
One of the questions that comes up is, so what does it do for me? Does it have any kind of impact? And what we've seen for the students, not just in the program who haven't even graduated yet, for the ones who have and have completed research projects and they've defended them, it's actually, to me, it was a little overwhelming the last EDD information session we had, because they were talking about it being transformational, which is not a word that I like to use lightly in serious context, but it has been transformational for them. One student in particular in our doctoral program, her organization did not reimburse for education, and when they saw the benefit and the impact that the degree was having, they actually subsidized her education at that point, even though it was not part of organizational policy.
And then immediately promoted her upon
Yes.
graduation. And we've been seeing quite a bit of that as well, just as the different, I mean, we have people in all different fields. We have people in psychology, we have people who are pastors, ministers, help me out here, higher education for sure.
Yep, staff psychologists, healthcare workers, people who own their own business, K through 12 educators, higher education professionals. And Dr. Freiling, I really appreciate that you brought that up, because even though it's a doctor of education, that's the specific degree designation, it is not an educational focused doctorate per se. We have all of the diversity that we just mentioned. So we use Doctor of Education. It is a well-known designation. It signals practitioner focused, but it is in organizational leadership and development, holistically, broad-based. You then focus what you want your research to be in the assignments that you do, whether that's higher ed, whether that's healthcare, whether that's K-12, whether that's as a nonprofit leader. Software designer.
Some businesses that are involved in consulting.
Yep.
Just various forms of research, and they continue to see the benefits as well. So it's really interesting to see how they all come into this same cohort. Like in one group, you have quite a bit of diversity in terms of professional area, and you just get to hear all these different stories of how their success has multiplied. And it sounds a little fairy tale-esque, and had I not heard it firsthand, I don't know how much I would have bought in, but it was so powerful to hear those students' stories, to hear their experience in our program, and to just go, wow, you know, you hope that you're having that impact, and you hope that you're influencing them in a positive way and really expanding the worldview and sharpening what their thinking does. And just listening to them talk with prospective students was so interesting, because it was like, oh, okay, well, it sounds like what you're doing, you'd want to go into a quantitative study, and I was like, oh my word, like a couple of years ago, you came in here wide-eyed and not exactly comfortable with any of this, and now, you know, they're able to look at somebody's study and go, yeah, I think this would be a really effective method in approaching that. I just love watching that happen.
You mentioned the word diversity. We have a lot of diversity in our program, that is professionally, that is from an identity perspective, that is, so every way that you can think about being diverse, our program is diverse.
Absolutely.
And we hear people say that as a distinctive. Even, do you remember what the one student said at the information session? She walked in and she said, I'm only staying if I walk in and for the first time in my life, I'm not the only person who looks like me. And she opened the door, and there's a lot of people who look very much like her. And so that was heartwarming for me.
I loved that. I loved that she was able to feel welcomed and feel at ease immediately. And I've heard that from a lot of students, like, we don't necessarily want to have people just like us, like from the same social circles or racial circles or even religious circles to an extent. So when they come here, they're looking for that variety. They're looking to have their worldview expanded beyond textbooks, and they're able to do that interpersonally, and I've really appreciated that aspect as well.
The program requires work because as you listen to us talk, it may sound like one big party, and in some ways it is. It's the best part of how I get to spend my time in this job.
I love it, but it is hard work.
It is hard work, but here's the thing, it's the kind of work that gives deep meaning to your life. You don't
Yes.
mind doing the work because it's part of that sanctification process that makes you better as a person, and you see the benefits of it. So you're weary from doing the work and staying up, but it allows you to leave footprints on the sands of time for other people long term. And when you think about how we built this program, that's what we were trying to do. We spend so much time at work, more time than we do often with other people. We have meaningful relationships at work. When you think about the people that you live with and that are a part of your family, we spend more time with the people we work with. And when we lead people, Max Dupree tells us we meddle with them. Leadership is the serious meddling in other people's lives, is what Max said in his book, Leadership Jazz. And so when we're going to meddle with people, when we're going to mess with them, we want to do so in such a way that we increase well-being and flourishing, and at the end, leave footprints on the sands of time for other people, to borrow a stanza from Longfellow. So that's animated in our program. That's what we want to have happen for people as they come through the program. Although imperfectly done, I think that we see the results of that, and it's because it's that deep meaning that runs throughout the program that you find yourself working not only with good people, but you deal with, so it's working with ideas that matter with people who care. And you end up improving not only the organization, yourself, and everybody around you because of that. So it is definitely worth the time and the money to take a look at it. And if you are interested in having or seeking more information about that, we do have, you can go to our website. And Anthony, tell me what that hashtag is again. Put that up there so I can do my job here. And there we go.
We're really excited about the hashtag.
We were.
So it's hashtag PGS Chats.
There we go. Thanks, Dr. Freiling. I just wanted you to be able to do that.
You knew I was going to do it. Come on. You all wanted me to go. Hashtag, right? No? Okay. Well, at least it made him giggle.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my job.
And we have a Cracker Jack enrollment staff as well, so if you have any questions,
Absolutely.
you can reach out and talk to me. I will always sit down and spend time with people. I'll stay up half the night to talk to you about our doctoral program. But we have an outstanding enrollment staff that'll walk you through the process. We are student-focused here. I can't emphasize that enough.
No.
And
I mean, that's part of why I chose PGS as far as my professional journey. When I started out, I was looking to do community college because I knew that they would be student focused, and then when I came across Cornerstone's PGS, I was like, can they be as student focused as they say? And then, as you know, I came on as an adjunct and just fell in love with it here, and now I'm here full time and able to enjoy all of this. We have different resources for you guys in terms of faculty enrollment, and we also have advisors that are specific to the doctoral program.
so as we wrap up, Dr. Freiling, one more time, the hashtag, I just got to have you do it.
Hashtag PGS Chats.